Hi, welcome to the Goddess Modern YouTube channel. I'm Kelley Mountain. I'm going to be doing a reading of a blog piece I wrote. It's called The Boundless Heart and the Mind of Boundaries. Let's dive in. The heart has no boundaries, and the mind is master of limitations. It's a really rich line to open with, actually. So I'm just going to stop there and reflect. The heart has no boundaries and the mind is master of limitations. What do I mean by this? Well, the mind is like a container. This is all from the way I see it. This is just channeled information and just from my own meditations and life experience, how I understand it. The mind is like a container of energy. It channels energy. It focuses energy. Energy, in order for energy to move and materialize in this world, it needs a container, a channel. That channel can be physical, it could be energetic. The mind is a master at creating channels for energy to flow through. Body-mind connection. The mind and the body are one, right? So if the mind is a container, the mind and the body is a container of ourselves, our beings here in this body. The mind and the body, they go hand in hand. And the mind is master at creating limitations and categories and boundaries on things, right? But the heart is open. The nature of the heart is just like freedom and expansion. It's just, the heart just loves, and the heart is just there, and there's no boundaries. It doesn't have a discernment around loving this person or loving that person, or whether that person is an appropriate direction to channel that love in, or maybe if they are, but not quite on such a close level, in what way is it appropriate to channel that love in, right? So this is the heart just loves. That's all it knows. It doesn't have the mechanism of boundary and categorization that the mind has. Mind creates the container for the heart to fill. Otherwise, with no mind, heart would lack a container to exist in. And its energy would scatter, creating leaks and exhaustion. Mind protects the heart, and it can also repress the heart. The heart is a source of energy. Mind creates the channel for it to flow through, either to within ourselves or outward with another. Many factors influence the mind. Each person's truth must be able to create within the mind which boundaries are most appropriate for their heart's source energy. Or else a personal dishonesty will ensue and cause suffering for that person and for any other connection they are sharing with another. Every person has their own gauge of appropriate boundaries to mirror their truth, which can change from time to time, and the allowing of that process of change is important for one's own personal growth and becoming, as well as within the context of another relationship outside the self. It takes great strength and courage to honor one's truth, especially in regards to romantic relationships. It also requires great strength and courage to listen and receive the changing truth of one's partner into new and perhaps scary or seemingly threatening directions. Many relationships have an expectation that the boundaries they begin with are the same boundaries they need to express for the duration of the entire connection, even if it's for a whole lifetime. In my experience and observation, this unrealistic yet agreed upon limitation between couples leads to an eventual point of conflict where one or both people are needing an adjustment to the boundaries so that their hearts as individuals can continue to be nourished, fulfilled, and develop. If this is able to happen within the context of the relationship, I believe it will create new channels of love that are even stronger, more alive, more expansive, that will feed the connection with a strong flow of sustainable energy to carry it forward on its journey. Love is a journey. And like most journeys, it has its high points of ecstasy and its low points of despair. Connection to one's personal truth will be the anchor within when the emotional waters surrounding are turbulent. So I want to say that again. Connection to one's personal truth will be the anchor within when the emotional waters surrounding are turbulent. I know in my own experience, I've received a very, very valuable lesson around how, in context of relationship, how important it is that I own my own truth and just really stand in that truth. Really by doing so, like really show up and supporting myself, right? Supporting myself to stand in my truth there on my own without the need for others around me to validate and understand and approve, and just me standing there solid within, supporting myself, sourced from within, and in so doing allowing the other person I'm in relationship with, allowing that person to accept me as I am 100%. And giving that choice to them, right? Like giving them the opportunity to choose rather than me adjusting my truth to make that person more comfortable to be with me, therefore sacrificing myself. So that's I feel such an important topic. And we're always learning and growing. We're always learning more about what our truth is, and our truth changes over time. So it's so important, I feel, to have that awareness within that our truth can change over time, and to communicate that to the one that we love. At any point it can be communicated, but I feel like especially ideally at the onset of a connection, at the onset of a relationship starting, really having an honest communication, like, this is my truth and I need it to be understood and supported until further information shows me that it's no longer my truth anymore, and in which case I'll have to adjust to another truth, and I need to be allowed to do that. I need to be allowed and supported in the fact that I'm a changing human. And for that person who's acknowledging that for themselves to just own that fiercely, just own that, and just know that everything that's meant to fall away will fall away. Everything that's meant to come in will come in. Things come and go, and the one constant is like the solid connection to self. That's the most important. And it's a journey. It's a journey. I feel it's right there hand in hand with self-acceptance. Accepting ourselves, accepting our own truth can be really scary sometimes. Loving kindness, compassion, vulnerability, patience, diligence, Forgiveness, gentleness, honesty, and fierce commitment to face one's shadows are required to serve as a compass for a couple to navigate adjusting to new boundaries within the connection. So this is where the work comes in. Maybe sometimes for some couples it's easy. I've had an experience like that, where it's easy, where we're just both on board and our skills of self-knowledge and communication and conflict resolution are just so on par, where it's just like easy breezy. But that's lucky. I was lucky to have that, and not everybody has that. In fact, I feel, a lot of times the communication skills aren't refined enough or solid enough, or the conflict management skills, and people aren't on the same page. So yeah, it can get tricky, but that's okay. Just because it gets tricky doesn't mean you're not going to make it. It doesn't mean it's not going to end up being something awesome that you both love. It just might mean that you need to work at it. Again, love is a journey, and it requires work. But it's beautiful work. It's precious work. It is no easy feat at times, yet love is not meant to be easy all the time. Such is life. And love between couples is life condensed, shared and co-created. Sometimes love is about walking through the fires of transformation together and enduring that burning heat. Through intense heat and pressure, a deep piece of Earth's carbon-based sediment transforms into a diamond. And through the right shaping and polishing, that diamond can embody a luminous sparkle that helps to decorate the world with its beauty. Which is what couples do as they're moving through the world. Like when I see couples moving through the world together and they're in love, you can just feel that energy radiating off of them. You can just feel their connection and the sweetness. It always makes me smile. Always. My heart's like, oh, there it is. There's that love. It's so precious. And when I have that in my life, that's how I feel. Like it's just so precious. And I feel grateful. I feel grateful to be an agent of care and support for people's journey of love. Self-love, first and foremost, starts with the self. We can't have the love that we want if we're not loving ourselves and supporting ourselves. It might come into our lives for a little bit of time, and we might have a fun dance for a few years or something, right? But if people aren't really owning their truth, what that is inside, it's only a matter of time before they're gonna have to choose themselves. Ultimately is what it comes down to. And I've been in that position. I've been in that position of sacrificing myself in order to be with someone, sacrificing myself in order to make him more comfortable to be with me, because we were really good together and the sacrifice was worth it until it wasn't. I felt like I really sacrificed myself for a solid 5 years in a connection. And it just gets to a point where you just realize, like I just realized for myself, like I'm only getting older. Like at what point do I allow myself the things I want in my life? So wrapping back around to the topic of the mind of boundaries and the heart, like in that experience, like my heart, all I wanted to do was love this man because he was really good to me. One of the best. And he was not only good to me, he was good for me. We were amazing together. And I didn't want to break up with him. I loved him dearly. We were together for a long time. And, but my mind, it took time. It took time because my heart connection was just so strong and it didn't want to let go. But the mind, the boundaries in the container over time started dissolving and reforming into another direction for my heart energy to channel through. And I had to follow it. I had to. And it was one of the hardest things. It's always hard to let go of love. It's never easy, right? But that's the process of the mind stepping in to guide the heart. Because if we just leave it up to the heart all the time, then we end up putting all this investment into a direction where it doesn't really serve us to the greatest capacity that we're wanting and needing and ready for, right? So yeah, it's such a rich topic, and I love, one of my favorite things about the topic is the transformation of it. How as a person grows and develops, as time moves on, the boundaries change. And that's fun. Like, I am personally in a place right now of exploring all kinds of new realms within myself and enjoying the process of my mind letting go of some old mental constructs and opening up to some new ones. And I'm excited for my heart to be allowed to flow through these new channels, and what that will allow for me in my own personal journey of self-knowledge and experience and wisdom. So thank you for watching this video. I hope it was helpful and insightful in some way. And if you feel like it was something positive that you enjoyed, please like the video at the bottom. I'd love for you to leave a comment and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. Take care.